Okay, there we go. I'm not going to edit or anything because it's not that.
Welcome everybody to the BlenderNest podcast. Okay, now let's continue. So I'm doing like Facebook stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm like paying for it, and it's something like a penny per view. And there's a lot of ways you can promote with Facebook. Like you could either try to get people to look at your content, your videos, or you could try to get them directly to a product. But
Yeah.
I think it would be better to get them to the content, to the story, and then they choose to get to the product. I feel like.
Yeah, that'd probably be better because like the conversion rate at the end would probably be more genuine, I think, because then they were actually
Yeah,
interested and then went through. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But like 1 penny per view, that's still quite a lot. Like I think.
that's steep. Yeah, it might be like half a penny, but like I still don't have that much data like rolled in, but it's like I don't know. So I'm paying like $5 a day for like a week, each day $5, and then that should be like I mean, what's the math on that? 500 views, an extra 5,000, one of the two. But yeah, but the dude, Facebook comments are so nice. There's not a single mean one because everybody's identity is attached to it.
Yeah, that's probably why. That's quite interesting. Yeah, imagine if like
Yeah,
YouTube had like more identity control or like more identity verification or whatever. Like I
they
imagine that.
tried. You remember Google Plus?
Yeah, that lasted for like what, a year or something.
Yeah, I remember. This like Bob is angry comments or whatever. Do you remember those?
mm, wait, no,
It
I
was
don't. I
like
don't. But
this is Bob. Bob is against Google Plus. Something something.
no, but
It used to be spammed all over the place.
the term "Bob is angry" rings a bell, but no, I don't remember what it is.
It's gonna. You need to play some like video game music they used to play to trigger the memory.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, well, that was quite funny. Yeah, yesterday we were speaking about that, like the how audio really triggers your memory, and I do find that quite a bit as well. Yeah, mostly
Yeah,
video game music, as you said, like more than anything, because like I think you spend so long like playing games and hearing it that it's just really embedded in your long-term memory, like kind of nestled away in there.
dude. I was asking, or my mom was telling me. I didn't ask her. I'm like, I used to play this game, Sonic Heroes, and I thought I played it a
Yes.
lot. I asked her like, how much did I play it? And she said that I literally completed the campaign like hundreds of times. Like I don't think I've ever played a game more than like I probably have thousands of hours in it, like people do in Skyrim. Um, but yeah, dude, I was hard on the GameCube, and now you try to buy one. In my head, it was $30. GameCube's like back up to like 500 or something.
Yeah, limited availability now, I guess. But Sonic Heroes
Yeah,
was good. Yeah, and Sonic
you
Adventure.
played you played Sonic Heroes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah, but which one was Heroes? Was that the one where they had the different teams of the characters?
Yeah, you have different teams, and you can switch. Oh,
Yes.
an hour my ass. That was but yeah. Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
we're recording, so don't say anything you wouldn't want recorded.
Yeah.
yeah, sure. I just happened to like to jump in here, right? So I'm just gonna like do my audio stuff here, and yeah, no, it
We're,
seems
we already got Curtis on a recording.
you
Yeah,
already
yeah,
got what recording?
yeah. Don't worry,
Yeah,
I'm already
like
doing it.
we're live. This is it. This is the show. Welcome to the podcast. We keep it profesh.
Yeah, I was
All
feeling
right.
I was feeling much better today, so I'll waste all of that goodwill now and get out the way.
But are you like taking care of your throat like those tips that we were talking about?
Yeah. Like the kind of the different muscles, and also I wasn't using it much today, so that kind of I feel like I've saved it up. Like a power, like a video game power or something. But oh well.
Oh, by the way, before we continue, I'm curious. Do you go by like publicly? Do you go by Bad Normals or do you say your name?
I'm just gonna turn on my video in an instant, and then I can answer.
Okay.
It should work. I don't know why it doesn't work. I actually Sony camera imaging edge. Do I have to turn this on? Yeah, I have never actually done that. So here I am.
Oh boy,
It's gonna
I
appear,
love.
right?
Oh
Hey,
damn, that's
hey.
crispy.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I mean, publicly, I don't use the name Bad Normals, of course. I don't even know why I used this name in the first place. I just like typed this as the Google account name, and there it is. Like, I mean, publicly, I'm still using my real name.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Okay. Cool.
So what
Then
should I call
will
you then?
Call you Bad Normal.
Bad.
All right. So like a little background about this BlenderNest stuff. Like, I mean, it's between you and Curtis, or it is like a whoever is part of this podcast.
Well,
do you want to take this one, Curtis?
Yeah, so it's just a bit of a mess. Back in 2020, I think it was Tom, Ducky, me, Southern Shotty, Grant Abbott, and Kev Binge, who was Blender Binge back in the day. And so we made a bit of a little podcast on his YouTube channel, just chatting about random stuff, because I think we were quite bored. And also, actually, it started before the pandemic, back in January, I think, on that year. But yeah, it just kind of became like a weekly thing. And so we were doing like an hour-long session every week, and then like answering some people's questions, and then just chatting about random stuff. And then over time, some of us dropped off, and we got like a bunch of new people in as well, including like Arturo, who you brought in, Tom. That was quite an interesting one, because you just wanted to play like
dude, I
hacky
can't
sack.
believe how far that went just from like one like Burger King interaction, and then it just goes so far.
Yeah, and now he's like, yeah, he's involved in everything now. But anyway, so it started off as a podcast, and then it became like a kind of pseudo therapy thing where we would all just like come together and just randomly chat to get stuff off our chest. And then, you know, some people seem to enjoy it. So that's just where we are now. Yeah, it's just like it's just like a regular video call with friends. You know, it kind of helps us stay connected. But yeah.
And it's going like out live on YouTube, or is it like a pre-recorded stuff?
It's recorded. We were thinking about doing it live at some point because it stops me from having to like, you know, manually upload the video afterwards, because that gets a bit annoying.
That's a good idea. Why don't we do it live?
Because I haven't set it up yet. Because, you know, you need that little code. I haven't actually gone onto the studio and grabbed it yet.
Oh, the yeah,
the streaming code. Have you done any streaming? Bad Normals?
You can actually call me like Martin or Martin if you want to be like really Estonian and European.
Ah, well, I'll say Martin because I'm really bad at doing that.
All right. Actually, I have done like I did a few streams on Patreon, and then this really like was, I mean, not that popular at all. So I just like it kind of failed. So I stopped. I did like maybe 3 live streams, and then once I did one on YouTube, kind of just like out of a mistake, so people could see like my desktop for a while, and this was all right. Nothing too like extreme, no Twitch stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Before I need to say something. Okay, that was a lot of preface. Do you know that? Do you know the chess streamer community? Are you aware of the Botez twins?
The chess streamer? No, I'm not familiar.
Okay, you guys aren't in the chess community. Whatever. It basically, so like you said, sometimes people accidentally go live, and you know they have their desktop channel or whatever. This girl accidentally goes live, and she's recording thumbnail faces. So she's going to the camera. She's going.
Oh no.
And it's like a minute of her doing that, and can you imagine anything more embarrassing? Like it's just a minute of all these faces. I'm like that's rough. And then at the very end, she realizes she's live, and she's like fuck, and then she like turns it off. But
yeah, it's definitely worse than a desktop, right?
Yeah, desktop's like, I mean, unless you got something there that you don't want people to see, not too embarrassing.
Yeah, I like, you know, on OBS how you've got like start recording and start streaming, they're like right next to each other. I've always hated that.
They're
design.
too close.
Yeah, they're far too close. I've clicked start streaming accidentally once, but on YouTube I think you have to do something else to actually make it like a.
You have to open up the streaming tab. Yeah, it doesn't open automatically.
Yeah,
which is really safe.
Dude, next OBS update, just separate those buttons. I think they have actually. I think the gap has grown because people keep accidentally hitting start streaming.
Yeah, no, it needs to be like in the other corner.
It's still pretty tiny. I can see there's like two buttons still.
Yeah.
Is the gap the same as the gap between all the other buttons below it?
That's the same, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So
well, OBS, you got to fix that, because every time I open OBS, it's like, do you want to install version 24 point blah blah blah, and I always say no. But if they included that gap, that'd be worth it.
Mhm. That's the same thing with our like national ID card like software. It always says me, do you want to update to this and that and whatever version? And I have clicked like no since 2020 maybe, which isn't like, I mean, it has more security problems than probably OBS, but that's the
Yeah.
habit. You know?
Dude, I've been I use iPhone, and they're trying to they're so aggressive with their iOS, like update your shit. It's been like a year. I love not updating. It makes me feel so good every time. I'm like, no, remind me later. And then I'm like, same thing tomorrow. I'll be here.
Yeah, it usually takes me like 4 days before I'm like, oh, sorry, just shut up already. I'll let you do it. But like the iPhone updates, they take quite a while to do sometimes, and that's
They do,
really
and
annoying.
they take like a gig or something. Like they take a substantial amount of your phone memory.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't had like updates since the Trump and China stuff happened, you know, because I'm using an Android. So Huawei doesn't get any like updates anymore. So I'm free from that, right?
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you're using like the latest version of Blender though all the time. Default Cube, I mean. Or Caleb is your real name, right?
No, Caleb's a fake name. My name's Tom.
Tom.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I was always thinking like the Caleb,
Yeah,
whatever.
so
It's like a
it's
weird name.
because like when you emailed me, it said like Caleb Mathers, right? And the reason I did that is this is interesting. Actually, yesterday I was looking up CG Matter and I wanted to see what shows up, and the number 2 result was CG Matter real name, and I'm like, yo, people are like fucking they're like down my fucking throat. They really want to know my name, so I made a fake name. Not that it really matters, but yeah, so it's Tom.
All right.
Yeah, that's always funny.
Oh no.
You've gotten like when people ask you for like sponsor requests and stuff, a lot of them came through like addressed to Caleb, didn't they, as well? And I'm pretty sure that I got one.
And they send me contracts. They're like, Caleb, sign here, and they have like a little section that says like, say, type Caleb Mathers here. I'm like, you have to send me a new contract. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm so embarrassed every time. I'm like, I don't know why I keep putting myself through this. But now no more contracts for me, I don't think. Although I recently got a VPN email, but I'm glad I don't need to look at those anymore. I'm with you, Curtis.
Like the title was the world famous VPN X Caleb or something like that.
Let me check actually. Let me see.
Because I got like 3 emails from a certain world famous VPN, right? Which was like all very generic and like auto filled up email. So I didn't respond to this actually. But I wonder if you got this as well.
It might have been because was it in the last week?
It was, I think, earlier, like a month or so.
Okay, I'm looking for it.
In the recent week, I got this World of Warships, right?
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna advertise anything like that. I mean, you can take my word for this.
Yeah.
Because like World of Warships on like a computer graphics channel, it really is basically like Raid Shadow Legends, but like maybe a different thing.
Dude, Raid Shadow Legends is the best. Like, I mean, maybe it's not your thing, but you look at their contracts, they're like, do whatever you want. I'm like, okay, I can do that. They just do not give a fuck over at Raid Shadow Legends, and I can appreciate.
They never asked me, but I'm kind of tempted just for like, you know, the clout.
Dude, you'd get so much clout. That's kind of like the bar. That's how you know you've made it.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I don't do sponsorships unless it's for a very good reason, right? So it was only Sketchfab, Nvidia, and no one else. And like the only other one I'm thinking is Raid. That's the only one I'll agree to. Like, so if they ever came along, I might do it just once or something. But yeah. Oh, man. So
But I will say, not doing sponsorships, it's so freeing. You don't feel like you need to be a puppet and say things people tell you to say, and like, it's nice.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, I just like finished my last contract with Skillshare. It was this July, and I mean, it's okay. I mean, doing those, but after like 6 months, I felt like this is not what I want to do. Like, I mean, better I just promote my Patreon and stuff instead of like saying how nice of a learning platform this is, like for the first 1,000 people. I mean, they are not that I'm just like heavily against them. I mean, this Skillshare is okay, I think, but just like saying the same thing over and over again for like 7 videos, it just feels a bit weird, right?
Yeah, it is weird when you get those like year-long or couple-month-long contracts, because I feel like maybe say it once, maybe say it twice, but when it's like every month, it's kind of like, okay, this guy's obsessed with the Skillshare or whatever it might be.
Oh yes, I was quite stressed when doing the Nvidia one because, I mean, they were very nice. They have like the middleman company called Fourth Floor Creative or something like that, where they kind of manage what's going on. They're like your middleman in between the company, and they were very nice, but they did kind of like change the terms a bit in the middle of it. Like, oh, can you do it this way instead? Can you do it this way? Like this, that, and the other, and kept pushing it a little bit further every time, and that was really annoying for me, especially because like they would start taking longer and longer to review the videos in between, and I was trying to like develop like the next version of Biogen at the time or something. So I was like, it's kind of taking up my time, and you're making these changes, and it's really kind of pushing the limit of my patience a bit. So I'm not that interested in doing that again. But like we always said on this podcast, going all the way back, the you have a choice to make when it comes to sponsorships, and if you've got other things going for you, then you don't necessarily need to do them. Like if you're making and selling products, that's a really good substitute, and like YouTube is one of the best marketing tools available. So we have a pretty good like suite of options, especially in this community, because there are a lot of YouTube communities where selling stuff isn't really that viable, or affiliates aren't really that viable, and a lot of people sell into like merchandise and stuff, like the very same stuff, t-shirts and whatever. But yeah,
merch is where it's at. All merch all the time now. Wait, why don't you do you have a Curtis Holt shirt with that like lock sign logo thing?
Yeah, I do. I mean, a lot of it was from Teespring, but like we spoke about before we started this recording, I was looking into dropship companies like you're doing now, but the only reason I didn't go ahead was because of that taking out of your account immediately to pay for the item, being manufactured. So I never found a solution for that.
Would you like order 500 yourself, or some number you can control? You order some number yourself and then you ship them yourself?
Yeah, I think that might be better. That's what a lot of other people do, but you need like a warehouse or something, so not big enough to manage that.
But I feel like 100 shirts is just like
that's not too much.
But
also you probably need someone else to handle it, and to do the shipping and stuff, or to manage it. So that's
I wouldn't want to shipping.
Yeah, I'll think about it. But yes, it'll be interesting to see if anyone buys your shirts.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, do you actually think like merch is like a viable thing for like a 3D related channel? I think if you do like some meme stuff, like for example, like mini default cubes, like something like that, people would definitely buy those. I think like plushies or something like that, this would work, I think.
Yeah, well, one thing I was thinking about a while ago is I wanted to make mouse pads with something like that, because I'm like, what's super relevant to people who use, computer software and all that? Yeah, it's fucking like mouse pads and shit like that. And I was going to make them custom out of like leather, and my dad taught me how to like do those leather stamping things and all that. And I was going to 3D print these stencils, but I'm like, that was a ADD flame that just like went away after a week. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this.
All right, I don't use a mouse pad, so maybe that's
I don't use a mouse pad either. I just thought that like I just like right now I'm just using like the side of this bed.
Oh, nice.
All right. So that's like your recording room also.
No. Right now I'm over at my mom's place.
All right.
Over at my place, it's the same room. My bedroom is the place where I record.
I mean, it's pretty much the same here. It's actually like a university dormitory. But it's really cheap, right? So why not?
Yeah. Oh, is it? So I don't know what the university dorms are like over there. Are the walls super thin and you can hear like people on the sides of you?
Yeah, the story is I'm actually like in the upmost corner. There is, right? So the 5th floor and the most corner of the corners. And actually, I mean, I don't hear too much. I have like a roommate right now. He's like away, luckily, and he's like playing like Dota all the time, right? Or like it's even League of Legends. I don't know. And he's like screaming sometimes some pretty cursed stuff there, and I can hear that, but not like necessarily like eating noises or like just finger tapping or anything like that. So it's pretty thick, I think.
Yeah, that's good. And you don't strike me as somebody who's like yelling when you talk. Like you're not like a loud talker. I fucking yell when I talk, apparently.
So you mean like if I am one of those guys?
I'm saying you don't seem like one of those guys. You seem like you talk at a normal volume. Is what
Yeah,
I'm
pretty much. I think so.
Yeah.
You're sensible.
But you never
you're
know.
noble.
You have to tell me, right?
Yeah, bad normals more like good normals. Am I right, boys?
Ayo. Oh man.
So tell me, I wanted like one thing I wanted to discuss because I know we've like done a bit of planning, or you've done a lot. I've only done a tiny bit of planning on my end on the contest. What's it looking like? So you've gotten like 500 submissions or something?
Yeah, actually, I did got 625, right? And then I start to look at those, and like 20% of people have just not shared the correct link, which means I cannot access this. I mean, I can send them an email, but I'm not going to send an email to like 50 people, right? So I just cut those away, and now we are at 542, I believe, right? So my brother basically wrote a script, and it downloaded all of those, did some sorting and data science there. And then I basically put those together. I have like a timeline of those. And I mean, for 500 submissions, this would take like so long to review those, like live, I think, for about like 5 hours. So we would all be dead.
Yeah, we were dead.
So I made basically this like a Google sheet with basically the names, right? And I'm gonna send you a video with all of those submissions, and then you can just like 1 to 10 basically rate those. And Ducky does the same thing. I do the same thing. And then there is like an algorithm or like a very simple formula basically, which tells us which one of those is the top 100, right? Part of the top 100. And then we can just like review those live. Basically the same way that Punisher did with Bren and Clint and all of those guys, right?
And are we trying to narrow it down to a top like 3 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm excited. I hope people have done some like crazy good ones because
Yeah, there actually are. Like, I mean, I was a bit skeptical maybe at first because like getting so many submissions, and I actually got a few like 9 hours before the start of the contest, right? But actually there are like really, really good ones. I mean, I just felt that if I had done a submission, this would have been like pretty not a very good thing compared to those, right? So there are like some people have done some characters for this and some like maybe painterly styles and stuff, and even some anime things. So it's really good, right?
Okay, I'm excited. Curtis, you're gonna be slogging behind. I get to see those earlier.
Oh yes, lucky you. No, it'd be really cool to see like the final compilation and stuff. Yeah, I think that's nice. I'm sorry I couldn't like. I really wanted to share it with my audience earlier as well, but I got too slow making videos and stuff for all the recent reasons. But I did mention it briefly in my last community roundup. A bit too late though, which is a shame. But
I mean, it's okay. I mean, we can have some more competitions in the future, right?
yeah, I told people
the
you've got
program-
a Discord channel as well. Sorry, Discord server. So yeah. What was that, Tom?
Are you gonna make a montage of them at the end? Like you're gonna? I mean, I guess you've already compiled a montage.
Yeah, I've already compiled those, which I'm gonna send to you, right?
Yeah.
But they're basically like, I thought I'm gonna like milk this, so like there will be like all of those submissions, which is I think necessary because not all of those are gonna be in the live stream, and then again like the top 100 video also. So like a 45-minute video, and then I think around like maybe 6-7 minute video of the top.
How long is each clip? Like how many frames?
It's 150 frames, 30 frames per second. So it's
5 seconds. Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
dope.
that-
I made something.
well. Yeah, so that's about the competition. And yeah, I hope it's gonna work out. I'm just like trying to do some make the live stream work, it's pretty hard. I think we're gonna have like a call through Discord, so I can like take the video like faces from Discord and put those in OBS.
Random question: do you use Facebook?
Like the way it's supposed to be used, like scrolling. Do you mean that?
Oh, like, do you have an account?
Yeah, I have like a personal account there. I had to make this like 2 years ago or 3 years ago for like a work group or something like that.
Dude, I hate it when like you're trying to like communicate with the group. They're like, "Yo, you gotta download Facebook or whatever." And I'm like,
I don't have a Facebook in my phone actually. It was so annoying. Like all the time, there's notifications about like there is your whichever relative like 2 kilometers away on the relativity line or whatever it is, like the
feed.
Yeah, something like that, or like the family tree, right? There is like one person that is so far away, and you get some notifications about posts and feeds and walls and whatever you have there. And yeah, Facebook is not my thing actually. But why were you asking this?
Well, I've been getting deep into the Facebook game, so I'm always asking because I'm like, is Facebook like an old person thing still, or do people in their 20s and 30s and all this, do they like use it? So I'm always asking people because I can't get a read on if it's like a dead website or not.
I've been hearing like this thing that 5 years ago, if you didn't know how to use Facebook, you were like an old person. And now if you know how to use Facebook, you are an old person, right?
Yeah, so it might be on the decline. But like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with old people. We like our oldies, you know? They respect your elders, that's what they say.
How old are you actually?
How old am I? I'm 24.
24, okay. I'm 20, so...
Oh, damn it, I'm the oldest one. Damn it, crap.
Yeah, maybe I'm in 40 now.
26.
Wait, Curtis,
26.
you're 20... Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's annoying.
I was tripping because I hang out with Ellie and Arturo a lot. I thought they were my age. Arturo's like 4 years older than me. I mean, it's not like an issue, but like I was tripping. I had no idea.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because I forget people's ages as well, but sometimes it is surprising.
Yeah, it kind of becomes irrelevant in like adult life, it seems, but like I just kind of like, it's the same vibe that I carried on from school. You just assume the people you interact with are like roughly your age.
Yeah. Also, like everything felt like age felt like it mattered a lot coming out of school, right? And then once you really settle down into work, I start, just measuring the years on the work that gets done, and you completely forget about yourself, really. So I guess I feel like I'm still like 23 or whatever, and like everything since then has just been all work related. Does that make sense? Like you stop thinking about it like you're getting older, and you just think about it like the work's getting older instead. If that makes sense. It's a bit weird.
I 100% like chronologically feel like 21 if I had to pick a number. But I do kind of measure it as like how long has it been since college, because that was the last like big life transition for me.
Yeah, true. I'm actually thinking like in classes. So I don't know if you have this system in the USA, but I'm in a class 14 right now, or 15. So if you start like counting from the first school year, right? So I mean it's useful because then I can just calculate back like in which year was it, 7th grade, 8th grade, like it's easier that way.
You know who has it nice? Wait, no, you're not one. So if you're born in 2000, you can always just calculate your age by the year. So if it's like 2022, you're 22. If it's 2050, you're 50.
Yeah, lucky
so
people.
Those 2000 kids have it nice.
Yeah.
2001, so I wasn't lucky.
Yeah. Or unlucky. They're just cast into the cruel world and not being born in 2020.
I had it for the school year, right? So like 2007, I was going into year 7 in the September of that year. So that was always quite handy. 2009, year 9, etc. But it becomes pointless after you leave school, so it's not useful anymore.
Do you still feel like there's an age that you feel like weird do you feel weird interacting with like 60-year-olds or not at all?
Interacting with 6-year-olds?
60.
16. I mean, 16-year-olds. I don't actually have. My brother is 17, so
No,
I mean,
no.
my brother,
60.
right?
Like 6 times 10.
A 60. All right. I have
Yeah.
number problems. Um, I mean, I don't feel weird. Like, depends on which, like, to which extent communicating. For example, like, I mean, going to like a party. I mean, this would feel a
Yeah.
bit,
Like
maybe
hanging
a
out.
bit weird. I mean, I just feel like we live in such a different worlds to an extent, right? Right. So, I mean, just being like a Blender content creator is by itself such a weird thing that even people of my age don't understand this pretty well.
Mhm.
So, like 60-year-old, it gets even worse. But I mean, I don't make a difference. I'm still like happy talking to people if they are like nice people, right?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know what it is with me, but I get weirded out when I feel like somebody's like an adult. I'm like I feel like it starts feeling weird to me once I talk to somebody over 40. And it's not like weird like I can't do it, but I like notice it and I feel like it changes how I talk to them.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you like switch to this default language, right? You just try to
Yeah,
avoid.
you're not using your slang, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really find it particularly weird, but I do find that because like I've been to like some family parties, some pretty big ones where you got like, you know, people of all ages there, and there are some like kind of older people that kind of have this, they still have this kind of like teenagery energy to them, like, and then on the other side of it there's some old people that are like kind of really slow and don't know what's going on, and you know
Yeah, or
so
dead, basically.
yeah. So yeah, it really depends, but no, because like a lot of the older people in my family are pretty with it. Like my mum's parents, like they know quite a bit about technology. They're quite with the times. They're, you know, they seem a lot younger than they are. So yeah, but also like in the Blender community, we've got a lot of people on the older age range that you might not realize. Because whenever I mention age in a video, there's always someone that comes out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, I'm 70 or I'm 60, and I've
Yep.
been using Blender and that." I'm like, "Wow, that's really cool. Good on you!" Like,
Yeah.
But actually, it's like I was a bit surprised by the age of people watching my channel. If I just like check this statistics out, the age is what it is. All right, so the most people are like 25 to 34, right?
mhm.
And then I have even like I have more over 50-year-olds than less than 18-year-olds. So
Yes,
it's definitely more of an like an old people niche, right?
it is pretty interesting, but I kind of like that though. You know, it because I imagine there are a lot of cultures in YouTube which are very very young people like focused.
Mhm.
Most of
Yeah, most of them. So I think it's pretty good actually having one which seems to have more legs in the more mature department. Yeah, I'm just having a look at my stats now.
Yeah,
I
maybe you
just
don't have to
assume
make
I
that
got
short thumbnail.
1835.
Yeah, true. Like I'm having a look at mine. I've got more 55 to 64s than 13 to 17-year-olds. In fact, 65 plus is nearly the same as 13 to 17.
Same with me actually, like a 0.1% difference there.
Yeah, it's kind of mad.
Are you using this YouTube Studio app?
Yeah,
Yes.
Do you ever like debate whether or not to uninstall it?
never to
Um,
uninstall it.
it's actually a dangerous app because like when the video is going well, you just have this urge to check how many
Yeah.
views you got, right? And then you just try to cool down, and you know that actually you're gonna like depress yourself when it starts to go down. So I just avoid looking at this.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
get it. Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah,
but I mean, never. You can finish actually.
oh no, you go ahead.
I was just going to tell that I haven't thought about uninstalling this still because I mean it's useful to answer the comments and stuff, and you get notifications when important people comment, right?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Like
always
Curtis,
handy.
actually,
I
this was your
value
account.
people. That's the society we live in. You have a value.
I don't know if you ever experienced this, but there was a little while, like there was a couple of weeks where YouTube stopped showing that average comparison line. You know, when you release a video, it shows how it's doing compared to your average when you look at the
Yeah.
stats.
Do you mean this like 1 to 10? Or do you mean the line on the like gray graph there?
yeah, exactly that. The graph with the line on it. So that
Yeah.
one is always very anxiety inducing, right? Because when it goes below like your average area, you're feeling like, oh no, it's done really badly. But there was like a couple of weeks where that didn't happen. Like it didn't show the graph, and it was the happiest time I had releasing videos because like you have no idea.
Yeah, you want to just send it into a black box.
Yeah, exactly. So I wish there was actually some options where you could like disable some of the stats to stop you from seeing them, because I feel like that would be pretty good for like some people's mental health. But yeah. In fact, actually,
Yeah.
I think they did like a survey once, and I think I put that in like a feature request box or something.
I mean, it could be useful, I think. It actually doesn't bother me too much. Which I actually don't like is the fact that, the 1 to 10, the top list of your videos, it is 1 to 10, right? I would actually like if this was like compared to all the videos.
Yeah.
Because when I like see, oh, this video is doing so well, but if I just have a pile of crap underneath this, the last like 9 videos have been really bad, then it's doing well. Actually, well, it isn't, right? I just feel it makes me make better videos if I see this compared to all the videos. But maybe for some people, this like just introduces some other mental problems. So I don't know. The stats
I will
are not
say that 1 to 10 thing. So recently, I've just been uploading garbage, and it's like always been like number 9 or number 10. But like as the average drops, it starts going back up to 5 because
Yeah.
it's just
wait, right?
Yes. Yeah, same. I had that the other day. Like, I had a video that was on number 10, and I thought to myself, okay, well, I can't feel bad about it because some video has to be at number 10. So I was like, okay, well, that's going to be the number 10 for this time. Like, you know?
Yeah, true.
But yeah.
But yeah, it would be nice to compare it to all of them. Although that might be even more depressing. I'm of the opinion that when you look at the stats, you're kind of like trading knowledge of all these analytics for your like mental sanity and all this. So that's the assumption I go under. So I assume when I look at it less, I'm happier overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, I just came from like a little Europe trip, and during this, I turned off the syncing or the push notifications on my phone.
Yeah.
And this was so good. I mean, I got like 10 job offers at this time, but actually I did respond no to all of those. And in the end, this was actually really good because like rested or relaxed for the first time over like a few months, because I didn't get all of those notifications all the time, or I didn't check the YouTube Studio app and all this stuff. So I'm still keeping everything off actually. And this has been really like beneficial.
And do you like occasionally check, or do you just not check at all?
I've made like a little, like a time span in a day where I check out all of my emails or all of my like, maybe I check comments or stuff, but I never do this as I did before, that I just check this like in every 10 minutes. Oh, or like 700 new views or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea, to just be like, I can only check either once a day or like during this 1 hour in the day. And then you're like, after that, no more for today. I think that's like a healthy strategy.
True.
I was thinking, because like I bought my brother's old TV to put up in the new studio when I move in, and I was going to do a thing where I would put up only the statistics I want to see on the TV when I feel like it. So things like sales for a day or for a week, or real-time viewers, because real-time viewers doesn't actually give me any anxiety for some reason. Like, I like that statistic, or like new subscribers in the previous day or something. And I would put those on the screen and then just use that as like my main metric. So maybe I wouldn't have to look at like, the YouTube Studio analytics anymore. But in the studio, I'd have like just my favorite stats and have those like kind of visible. So we'll see if I go through with that in the future. But it could be cool.
I remember something somebody said that struck me, is that this kind of, I don't know what you'd call this line of work, like social media I guess you're all influencers, you know. But like the whole social media thing, the guy said that you're trading like that for your like mental health, whereas other jobs don't necessarily do that. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that?
I mean, in the start, I feel like this is less and less true if you get like accustomed to that, if you do this over the years. Because I mean, if you do this over the years, you kind of have to develop some kind of a protective mechanism for that.
Mm.
So when I started out, I mean, I just had a very like maybe a 4-month period when I just like every video I released was better than the last one, the last one, the last one. So I felt like, well, where are the mental problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to release some other things. They kind of failed. And I mean, I feel like actually this has made me like a stronger person, or in a sense, like I don't get so much like moved by all of this thing. But it's true that with, for example, like plumbing, I mean, you don't actually trade your mental health against anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's just consistent. There's no like. I think the variability is what like makes it happen because there's no guarantees, and you're always like. I was always on edge. I'm like, is this going to be sustainable next year? Who knows? Like that's such a long time.
That's true. I mean, it's plumbing. There is variability of whether you like fix the plumb or not, but you know that people are gonna break their toilets like all year long, so you don't have to worry about
that's for sure. That's a fact.
I remember like early on in doing the YouTube thing, like the first year or like the first 1.5 years, it was a lot more anxiety inducing because again, it was like, well, could this be sustainable? But I've completely stopped worrying about that. Like it's got so much better, but that's because I have now generated evidence for myself to look at. So for example, like the first year's income wasn't like that great. It wasn't sustainable, but then it doubled the following year. And I was like, okay, well, actually, now that's pretty good. That's pretty sustainable. And I thought, well, I'm not going to keep that up. And then it doubled the next year as well. So I was like, okay, well, stop worrying. Like, when you look at things in isolation, like when you look at your YouTube earnings or the Patreon earnings or just the Gumroad earnings, everything feels kind of unsustainable in isolation. But if you're just going along and doing all of it, like when you feel like it, it seems to be sustainable. So I stopped caring so much about it because I was like, just chill, just keep on doing the stuff that you want to do, and it will work itself out. So yeah, but that's because there's evidence there to look at. You know, like it was fine the last few years, so you're probably going to be all right.
Yeah.
Sharon, what up?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
By the way, we're recording. Don't say anything you don't want to be recorded. And yes, we can hear you.
I'm gonna leave in a minute, yeah. So
Okay.
just saying
Ah,
hi.
Drop that
Just wanna say hi
knowledge.
to Bad Normals. Yeah.
It's bad normals.
I'll join you guys soon if you're still up. But yeah, for now, bye. Have a nice time.
Okay.
Goodbye. What a mad lad. That's a power move.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's coming over to the UK soon.
So I was kind of like half listening when you were talking about when you're gonna meet up and all that because I'm like, this is not relevant to me. But what's your plan? Are you guys like meeting like right on the get go?
I think so. We'll see how it goes, or at least within the first day, because I think after he gets here, he's got like a day or two before he goes to Bournemouth, which is where he's going to uni. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it's going to be
I feel
interesting.
like you guys are gonna be buddies.
Yeah.
Do you mean the conference?
Oh, no. So Charon is coming over to the UK for university, but he will also be going to the conference. So that's going to be the following month. God, everything's going to happen at once. Like, everything is going to suddenly get really busy.
Are you all gonna go to the conference? Both of you?
No.
Or
I am, yeah.
you're not gonna come? Why not?
Because I'm the villain. I don't know. I'm just not.
I mean,
I got like a new project that I'm busy on, I guess. But like beyond that, it's just not something that's called to me.
all right. Well, it could have been nice to meet you in person, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
it could have been. Maybe one day, you know, because I know there. Would you come to the Los Angeles one if it ever happened?
I would.
Los Angeles one?
Yeah, I think it has it happened in LA before, or was that where it used to happen?
No, so 2020 they were going to try and do it for the first time in June, I think, but then the pandemic hit, so they had to cancel. and they haven't tried restarting it. So, but I think they probably will at some point in the next few years.
Yeah, so if you come to LA, I'd much more likely go to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the States. That's true.
Yeah,
It's far away.
exactly.
I mean, it's like an 8-hour flight from you for you, I think.
Yeah, and that's not even it. It's kind of like I guess I do feel more of a barrier to entry, kind of going to a new country and like figuring out the airport and shit like that. But that's not really it. It's just like I don't feel called to it right now. I feel like I don't know, I wouldn't want to do a talk either. Would you want to do a talk?
Depends on what.
Yeah.
I mean, what could this be like the most? I don't know. What would you like to talk on?
Dude, if I had to give a talk and it had to be like 60 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would just like generally talk about proceduralism. I feel like would be the move because I feel like that's what I know a bit about and like could be interesting. I think that's what I would do.
I was thinking I would probably do one about the blended YouTube culture, and then throughout it, I would get people, different people like yourself, or possibly even Daniel Craft, because that'll be an interesting one to do, like little recordings to show in the middle of it, like, and kind of just talk about how Blender's grown on YouTube and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I didn't feel confident enough to submit a proposal this time. But maybe next year.
Dude, I'd be like training every day, just going over my lines.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't want to make a talk unless like people ask me to make one, because then I know I'm like worthy, or I'm not worthy, but I mean, it feels like a bit like well, I've been doing like Blender like YouTube stuff for a year, and then I'm gonna think, all right, now I'm gonna like make a talk because I'm a celebrity, you know. Well,
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to, like, I feel the same way. It's kind of like, would people even want it? You know, I don't want to have like an inflated ego about it. So I understand.
Yeah. But then again, like there have been a lot of really good talks at the Blender conferences, but there have also been a lot of talks which are kind of, you know, they're okay. But, you know, I feel like any one of the Blender YouTubers could do something that's pretty interesting and would be quite entertaining for the people at the conference anyway. Like, so I feel like regardless, people would probably appreciate it. Because even without knowing it, like you guys, you've got like nice presentation skills. I think you'd be fine actually standing up and talking in front of people. I know it's quite different than actually just, you know, recording a video behind a camera, but I still feel like there are a lot of skills that would transfer in trying to keep people engaged, if that makes sense.
I actually feel like talking live is a lot easier than to camera, because right now it's easier for me to talk than to just like record, for example, like a portion of video, because when I'm recording I want this to be perfect, right? So I'm like, maybe I'm like saying things over and over again, and then I'm gonna weld on the wall there is like a little patch, maybe I have to turn the camera, you know. But if it's live, like I'm just gonna talk like I'm talking normally, right? There's no problems with that.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that, and I also feel the opposite. Sometimes I'm like, the camera's so easy because I'm just ranting to myself, but sometimes it is easier when you think about it as like with a conversation you only have to do half the work, or in this case you have to do a third of the work. There's 3 people, you don't have to talk 3 times as much. It's like literally less work, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think it would be quite nice. But yeah, I'd be interested in going to like an LA conference because I feel like the culture might be a bit different. Don't really know how to explain that. Because like in Amsterdam, it's pretty interesting, but like, you know, it's a lot of, you know, European people, and it's quite like a sensible conference mostly as well. Like a lot of the professionals that are still kind of around the area. And I wonder if an LA one might be a bit fun, like a bit more, you know.
You think it'd be more like chill or more like party like?
I don't know. I just have a feeling that an American conference is going to be a bit different than a, you know, European conference.
I feel like that's right, because I do look at the clips. It is very proper. Like it is like people say something and then people clap, and then like no rowdiness.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But also, yeah, it'll be more accessible for people, the American one. And I'm, you know, the USA is, for all of us, I think, one of the largest audiences for the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
exactly. 15% for me.
Yeah.
The second one is India.
Yeah. So there may be more, you know, people going that just enjoy Blender casually but aren't professionals. So who knows?
On that note, I got a skidad. Feel free to continue without me. Feel free not to continue without me. You know, whatever feels right. So
Well, we have
deuces.
pretty much been going for an hour, and that's how long we usually keep it. So
Okay. Thanks everybody for watching the podcast. We've been I don't know. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, comment also.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, share it to your mom, have your mom share it to her friends, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy some groceries right now, so
perfect. We'll disband.
All right, thanks for coming along.
Okay.
Nice chat,
boys.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Bye bye.